Hello and greetings. Welcome back to Yoga Practice with Johanna. Today's practice, we're going to focus very solidly on asana practice. And we're going to practice some of the postures that I haven't as commonly practiced with you so far. And some of them will be familiar, and we'll in the familiar practices of asana, we will bring in some variation. And then I will introduce some brand new postures that may be completely new to you, or maybe not, but just an opportunity to dive into practices maybe that are a little less practiced, unless you're a regular practitioner daily in longer types of asana practices. So let's go ahead and begin, and we'll come up into a standing position. And first, we're going to just connect to our breath. So meet me at the top of your mat and stand in the Tadasana position, coming into your mountain pose. So go ahead and just take a few shoulder rolls and start to wake up the joints of the shoulders. And as you do that, bring in that breath awareness. So inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling again, either through the nostrils or the mouth, just anything that can get you moving, getting your prana stimulated, and starting the flow of your energy. Good, and let's go the other direction, and inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhaling. And then inhale and exhale. Good, so stand with your feet together or apart. They can be parallel. And let's go ahead and balance along the midline. Find your center of gravity. It's really at the base of the feet, at the center of your arch. And let's lift the chest, lift the spine, roll the shoulders back and down, and then lengthen the back of the neck. And I recommend closing your eyes here, so you just reduce some of the stimuli coming in through the eyes, and you begin to come into an internalization of your energy. Not so much that you leave the outside world, but that you draw in this potential to bring in concentration. And as you do that, let's go ahead and inhale. Listen to the sound of the breath entering the nostrils, and bring your breath up to the third eye, which is the point between the eyebrows and the frontal lobe. And then exhale, send your breath down and out. And as you do that, maintain that connection with the third eye center, and inhale again. And then gently exhale all the way out. Now, maintaining that awareness of the third eye, let's bring awareness into the Nabhi Chakra, or the navel center. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, send the belly in, and the breath down and out in the direction of Apanavayu. And now inhale, bring the prana direction inward and upward. And then exhale out and down. Good, one more like that. Inhale, inward and upward, feeling the lift of the rib cage, the lift of the sternum. And exhale, feel a smallness, light compression, and an elimination and evacuation of the breath. Super, let's go ahead and open the eyes now, and let's inhale, raise the arms forward and reach up, and just have a nice light back bend out and back, and then bring the arms down. And then to the side now. Inhale, reach the arms to the side, and then arch back, and then release the hands down. And then again, back into the front. Inhale, lightly arch back, and then this time reach to the side, and then inhale to the side, arch back, and exhale out in front. Good, let's go ahead and inhale, reach up, arch back, and let's come into just a few sun salutations. Coming to that first forward bend the knees, and then inhale, straighten, bend, and then inhale and straighten. You'll just set the right leg back, come into a nice low lunge, stretch the hips, and then exhale. Let's come into the downward facing dog. Let's pause here and walk out the dog a little bit. Let your sit bones lift and your chest stretch towards your thighs. Good, and then maybe rotate your hips side to side. And then plant your heels down squarely. Good, and then now bring your feet a little bit closer together, and we're going to raise the right leg for Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana, the one-legged downward facing dog.
Good. So press through the both heels, straighten out to the backs of the legs, balance out the right hip downward. Good. And then from there, let's lift the left heel up and slide the right foot to the right thumb and come into a low lunge here. And then stay with the back heel curled, and then inhale again, go back up into that one-legged downward facing dog. And then exhale, let's go ahead and swing it forward again. And again, inhale, slide up and back. And then exhale, let's lunge. Good, look up. And then exhale, take a simple step up to the left with the left foot, fold down. And then bring the arms out to the side and let's rise up, arch back, and then exhale. Okay, bring the hands behind the waist, back, lift the chest, look up, and then exhale, let's go ahead and fold all the way down. Wheel and bring the arms overhead. And then inhale, bend the knees, come up into a chair pose, Utanasana. And then inhale, come up standing. Exhale, release the hands behind the back, interlace fingers again, look up, arch, and exhale, fold. Good, release the arms down, bend the knees, come up, Utanasana. Reach back, interlace the fingers into the Parvatasana, and then exhale. Let's release the arms down. Come all the way to the floor, Utanasana. Set the left leg back. Come into Anjaneyasana. Look up to the third eye, and then exhale. Let's step back. And then again, parallel your feet. And if you'd like, stretch out to the spine by slightly walking the legs side to side. Coming into a walking downward dog. Then from here, let's go ahead now and raise the left leg up. Come into that one-legged downward facing dog. Pressurize the heel of the hand a little bit. And then from there, come high on the back foot, lift the heel up and slide the left foot to left thumb. Come into that low lunge. And then let's return back to the one-legged dog. Inhale, reach the left leg up. And then lunge it through. And then again, inhale, lift. And then lunge all the way through. And then step up. Right foot steps up. Come to that nice long fold. And then this time, bring your arms alongside your ears. Rise up. Arch back. Good. In and exhale. Let's try again. Inhale, reach. Arms to the side this time. Make yourself into a column of light. Lift up. And then exhale. Let's fold Utanasana. Good. Now look at the wall in front of you. And then exhale. Just step back into your downward facing dog again. This time we're going to go ahead and go up and back, up and back, up and back from a downward dog to an upward dog to loosen up the back and the front of the body. So let's go ahead and inhale. Bring your shoulders over your wrists and begin to bring the knees down if you like, and slowly coil and lift the chest. If you'd like to keep the legs up off the floor, that's an option too. And now exhale, let's just go back to down dog. Good, and continue. Inhale, lift, exhale, downward. Let's go for number 3. Legs strong, back to down dog. 4, back. 5, and back. 6, and back. 7, back. And then back. 9, and back. And last one. Inhale, come through. And then back into downward dog. Good. Bring the knees to the floor now. Come to child pose. Lengthen through the back of the waist. Stretch your knees to the floor and let your calves also lengthen. And the shins go down. Good. Then come up into Vajrasana with an inhale. You're going to bring your hands to your heels. Try to hold your heels, lift your hips, and we're going to come into what's called rabbit pose, Sasangasana. We're going to bring the forehead to the knees and chin to the throat, and lift the hips up and coil the other way. Now bring your breath all the way into the back of your ribs and inhale, and then exhale to the front of the ribs. Inhale again, exhale. The chin is really plugging into the throat. Inhale and exhale. Good, one more, inhale and exhale. Good, bring the hips down, roll all the way up, bring the hands behind your back. Good, and counter pose. Come into modified camel, lift the chest, look back. Good, and then exhale to squeeze the belly, come forward. Come onto your hands and knees, lift your chest. Exhale, bring the chest down to the floor. Go ahead and come through, coil, wrap your shoulder heads back. And then inhale, let's come up into a high cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, let's meet into downward dog. Good, from here, you can bring your knees to the floor. We're gonna come into the Vaśisthasana pose. You can start with your knees down if you feel that your wrists are a little bit sensitive today. Otherwise, you can also begin with the legs up in a high plank. So from here, we're gonna, with the knees down, just go ahead and turn to the left, stack the hips, and reach the left arm up. If you're coming into a little bit more of a strength pose, you're gonna lift the knees up, turn, and come onto the outside of the right foot, stack the left foot on top of the right, and then pressurize the right hand down, lift the left arm up. Good, breathe. And let's go ahead and reach the left arm down and come into plank position. If your knees are down, just stay in tabletop. And then everybody, let's lift up into downward facing dog. And press back again. Good, now inhale, we're gonna come into upward dog again and downward dog. And then exhale back. Keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Variation here would be cat cow. 8, 4, 9, and 10. Good, release the knees to the floor, come to child pose again. And breathe, inhale. And exhale. Come up onto the heels again, come into the Mudrasana. Let's grab the hold of the heels with the hands, and we're gonna come back into Sasangasana, the rabbit pose. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, let's fold down. Lift your hips up, and squeeze the chin to the throat. 1, 2, 3. Good, let's sit back, open up the chest again, float yourself back, and breathe deeply into the center of the chest. Good, bend the elbows, let's come through, and then once again, curl the toes, let's lift up into downward facing dog. And we're going to come into the side plank on the left side. So if you're practicing with the knees down, bring the knees to the floor and begin to turn to your right, stretch your right leg back and stack your shoulders and stack your hips. Good, for the side arm balance, come to plank position, turn to the right, come on the outside of the left foot, stack the feet and sweep your right arm up. Lengthen the chest up towards the chin. Squeeze the legs. Good, one more breath. And then exhale, let's release the right hand down. And then if your knees are to the floor, everybody, come to tabletop. And now lift the hips up. Let's come into downward dog. Inhale. And then exhale. Good. From here, bend your knees. And then either jump or step your feet all the way to your hands. Come back into your forward bend. And then let's reach the arms out in front, towards the ears. Lift up, arch up, and back. And release the arms to the side. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's turn and step to the middle of the mat. And let's inhale. We're going to raise the arms up, and then we're going to strengthen now, working asanas on the lateral extension. Reach all the way up, and then exhale. Bring your hands to your waist. You can separate your feet hip distance or keep them together. Good. And from here, let's lean towards the right and the left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Keep going. Your last few. Nice. Come to center. Inhale, raise the arms up now. Arms alongside the ears, and the same. To the right and to the left. You can swing your hips out to the side a little bit and firm your leg. The last few sides. And then rise up, reach up, and then release the arms down. Good. From here, let's step our feet apart. I'm going to lie wide-legged position. Turn your left toes in, your right leg out. Let's reach the arms out to the side. And from here, we're just going to reach out halfway. Good. And then rise up again. Good. Allowing yourself to just lengthen and come in line with that right leg. Relax the shoulders. Good. Then from here, let's come down now. Release down towards the ankle. Reach the left arm up. And then reach the left arm over the left ear. And then up again. And then reach. And then stand up. And then reach again. And then stand up. Good. Raise your bottom arm. And then float up. And bring your hands to your heart. Let's turn to the other side. Reach the arms out. Inhale and just lean and extend over the left leg. Come halfway down and then come up again. And then pump it. So keep your lower back flush and pressing towards the front of the belly so you don't overarch there. And stay secure in your heels. All right, super. Now extend over the left leg. Bring your top arm up. Uttita Trikonasana. And then reach the right arm over the right ear and lengthen and stretch. Good. Reach the right arm up. And then again, reach. And then again, up. And then again, reach. Good. Now take your bottom arm, bring it towards your left ear, and come all the way up. Turn the feet towards each other, and then release the arms to the waist. Good. Then from here, let's step the right foot up and just sort of walk it out. Inhale, reach the arms up again. Arch back if you feel comfortable with that. And then exhale, we're going to fold down, reach the hands to the floor. Yeah, this time we're going to extend the right leg back and we're going to come into a high lunge.
Crescent Lunge. So you can bring the back knee kind of down towards the floor, but don't let it touch. And then from there, now squeeze the hips, bring the hands to your waist, and press all the way up. From here, let's raise the arms up. And then if you want, you can keep the hands at the waist, no problem. And then release the back knee to the floor and then come up. Let's do that a few times. Step down and up. Release down and up. And then release down and up. Good, now arch yourself back. Give yourself a nice coiling of the front body. Good, and then exhale. Let's release the hands to the floor and step back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward, lower down. And then come into a nice up dog or cobra and back into the downward dog. We're going to take Ekapada again. So this time we're going to hips to the side. So lift your right leg up. Lift your right hip high in the sky. Good. And then from there, everybody, we're going to take the right knee to the right thumb and come into Ekapada Rajakapotasana. Lift the chest. And then exhale, let's fold down and stretch. Coming to pigeon pose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Next breath, let's go ahead and bring ourselves up. Stretch through the arms. And go ahead and step back and raise the right leg up again. Good. And then send it to the right thumb. And then back again and up. To the right thumb. Up again. And to the right thumb. Good. Set the left foot up. And then take your feet apart and come down into Malasana. Come into a nice squat. Feeling the openness of the hip. And a little bit of the difference between the two sides. Good. Inhale. And then exhale. We're going to bring the right hand in between the right leg and bring the right hand outside of your right hip. And if you can, reach it back and hold on to the left hand. Turn and look over your left shoulder. If you're not able to do the wrap, just keep your right hand on the floor and the left arm up and just come into a little standing twist. Good, and then let's release everybody. Come back down into a squat, hands to the heart, catch your breath, inhale. And then exhale, we're gonna rise all the way up, coming up like out of a squat. Reach the arms to the ceiling, bring the feet together, and then exhale, release the arms to the side. Good, reach arms out, inhale. And exhale, float down. Let's set the left leg back. Take the back knee a little bit down towards the floor and then lift it away from the floor. Press through the right foot, come up, balance. Come into the crescent lunge, raise the arms up. Inhale and exhale. Bring the left knee to the floor and come up again. Second time, 2. And then third time for 3. Good, now stabilize. Feet can be as wide apart as they need to be. And then inhale, let's coil back. Reach all the way back. And then exhale. Let's bring the hands down. Good. And step back. Reach the right leg up. And bring it down. Reach your left leg up. Split the leg. Reach that left hip all the way up.
Good. And then bend the left knee, bring the left foot knee to the left thumb, and come into pigeon press. Look up. And then exhale, fold all the way down. Rest your forehead on your forearms. Inhale, let's press back up. Good, press all the way back, lift the left leg up again. And then lunge it to the left thumb and come into that low lunge. And then again, 2. And then 3. Good, and then this lunge here, pause for a breath. And an exhale. Let's go ahead and step the right foot up and fold. Separate the feet, come down into that squat position again. And then we're going to thread the left arm back in between the thighs, reach back and wrap, and look over the right shoulder for the bird of paradise preparation. And then again, if the wrap's not going to happen, no worries. Left arm down, right arm up, come into a gentle standing twist. Good, let's release, and then everybody come back down into Malasana. Come into your garland pose, and then inhale, press all the way up in the heels, arch back, and then exhale. Let's release. Come back and stand in Tadasana at the center of the mat. And so now let's come into some variations with tree pose. Find a point in front of you that you can look and steady gaze. And then from here, we're going to just gently bring the right leg up, bring the right knee into the chest. Good, bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Bring your hands to your heart. From here, inhale, reach the arms to the side, and exhale, take your right elbow onto your left and come into eagle arms. Good, reach the arms out, and then inhale, raise the arms up. And if you can, look up at the ceiling or look up at your hands. Good, and then exhale. If you can, turn towards your right. Take your left hand outside of your right thigh. And then reach the hands back into prayer pose. And then release the right leg down. So we'll repeat that sequence. If you found that it was a little unsteady, and as you can see, when I turned, I lost my balance. So that's completely to be expected if you know, your balance is a little bit off today or not. You can use support of the wall, so you can stand back and then do the posture that way. Okay, so let's try on the left side. Bring our gaze present and steady. Inhale, bring your left knee up. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then exhale, let's begin moving into the sequence. Bring the left sole of the left foot onto the inner thigh. Bring the hands into the heart. Inhale. And then exhale, reach the arms out to the side. Come into Gomukhasana arms, left elbow under the right. Wrap the forearms. And then release the arms up. Maybe look up. Pressurize the hips together. Good, and then exhale. Begin to turn to the left. Take the right hand outside of the left thigh. And of course, you can just stabilize in tree pose the whole time. Good, and let's release back. Reach the arms up
And then exhale. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Good. And then release that left leg down. Shake out your right leg. Let's come into another balancing pose. We're going to bring the right knee into the chest. And you're going to either stay here and then open the right knee to the right. Flex the right foot and then come back to center. If you have a little bit more flexibility, you're going to reach down and bring your hand to the pinky toe side of your foot. And then from there, we're going to inhale and exhale, and we're going to reach the right leg straight. Okay, so maybe you're practicing with the knee bent. And then from here, we're going to inhale and we're going to open a leg to the right for Hasta Padangustasana. Come back to center. Let's bend the right knee. Meet everybody who's in the right knee position. Place the hand on the front of the knee and then release the right leg down. Let's do the second side. Collect your vision, look steady. Again, if you felt unstable, use the wall. It's nice to have the wall. It's nice to have somebody that has your back, right? So bring the left knee into the chest. Now release, take the right hand to the right hip. Hold the front of the left knee with the left hand, and you're going to prepare to practice with the bent knee. If you want to practice with a little bit more of an extension of the leg, reach down, grab hold of the pinky toe side of the foot, inhale, lift up, and then exhale, extend the left leg forward. Again, for Hasta Padangustasana. Try to lean back, inhale, and then exhale, start to open the leg to the left. And then inhale, exhale, just a short hold. Come back to center. Bend the left knee, grab hold of it again, and then release down. Good, let's shake it out. And come back to the front of the mat. Super. Inhale, let's reach the arms up again. And exhale, bring the hands all the way down. Inhale again, reach up. And then exhale. Now let's go ahead and spin down, Utanasana again. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, let's step all the way back or jump back into downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the floor now, and we're going to bring our arms into a number 11. We're going to come into dolphin pose or Mudrasana. We practiced this some weeks back, but now we'll revisit. Good, so pressurize your elbows down, spread the fingers wide. You can also interlace these fingers and make into a little triangle. Otherwise, press your knees up off the floor, straighten the legs. Bring your chest toward your thighs and get a good upper body stretch. Keep your head off the floor if possible. Good, and just hang out here with your breath. Good, and then let's release the knees to the floor. Come to a child pose, bring your arms behind your back, forehead to the floor. Raise your elbows up away from the floor and lift your shoulder heads away from the ears. Good, and then inhale, let's rise up. Keep the chest nice and open. Return the hands back into that L position, the wrists as well. Good, let's curl the toes, shrug the forearms forward, come up again. And you can repeat the posture that we did before. Otherwise, let's go ahead and bring in the one-legged variation. Raise the right leg up. Lift up. And as you do this, keep pressurizing your shoulder blades deep into the back of the heart. And then exhale, let's release the right leg down. And then inhale, let's bring the left leg up. Stay with your breath. And release the left leg down and slowly release the knees down. Come to child pose and do that reverse.
Padangustasana. Bring the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers opposite clasp. Reach the arms overhead. And then come up and sit in Vajrasana. Good. Have a nice long breath here. And softly exhale. Good. Now let's come forward and we're going to just walk our feet right behind our wrists and fold down. Palms flat against the floor. If the knees can bend, that's fine too. Good. Now separate your feet a little wider. And from here, we're going to try to bring the hands now behind the heels. So from behind, it looks like this. And from the side, it looks like this. Front on. My elbows are inside my knees. And I'm going to start to try to bring my shoulders behind my knees. Okay? Coming into a pretty deep forward bend. Good. And so let's just pause here. Kind of feel it. Good. And then from there, let's release. Go ahead, bring the hands to the waist and come up. So we're going to repeat. And we're going to come into a posture that's called Bhuja Pidasana. So let's repeat. We're going to try the pose again and repeat the same setup. If that was too much for you, just continue practicing your squat position and practice bringing the heels closer towards the floor and also folding down towards the floor. If you feel that you can get a little bit deeper, we're going to go in and bring the hands behind and start to wiggle those shoulders behind the back. Good. And then from there, bringing the back of the hands to the outer thighs, begin to try to straighten the knees. And then from there, now we're going to place the hands behind the heels and we're going to slowly sit down and we're going to sit on the back of our arms. And then we're going to look forward and slowly lower the hips down. And you're going to notice that if you find your center of gravity, you will lightly begin to start to lift the heels up. And then maybe the whole foot comes up. And you can just pause here. If you have the whole pose, you would just go ahead and crisscross the ankles. Good. And then release and bring the feet back down. And you're going to slowly straighten the knees. Bring the hands away and take the hands to the waist. And you're going to come all the way up. Now, another way to do this is to use blocks. So let's try the last variation and bring our blocks. Take your blocks as wide as the mat. And from here, we're going to get into the same way. So we're going to come into a squat, bring the hands behind us, and take the heel of the hand onto the edge of the block. Rest your elbows back and then have your hips lower to the elbows. And then maybe, again, slightly begin to look forward and lift the feet up off the floor. Good. And then release the feet down and slowly stretch down, everybody. Move the blocks. And bring your hands to your waist. And inhale. Let's rise up. Good. Stand in Tadasana. Now from here, I recommend that you do have a wall space behind you. And we're going to reach back and counter pose with a nice extension into a back bend. So I'll show from the side. Down with your feet apart. Begin to just lengthen your lower back. If you don't have a wall, no worries. You can just do it standing. Inhale, arch back a little bit. And if you do have a wall, reach your right arm up and back. And lean back into the wall. And touch. And then spring forward
and bring the right arm forward. Good. Second side, reach the left arm back. You can look back, lean back, and come up. Make sure that the lower back is lengthening and you're lifting the pubic bone up. Inhale, reach both arms up maybe. Bend the knees if you'd like. Arch back. Bring the hands to the wall. Pressurize the hands here. And then bend. And then spring up. Good. Let's try that again. Inhale, reach back. Good. And then press off and come up. Last one. Inhale, reach. And then press and come up. Good. And then down for here, go ahead and turn your toes in a little bit. Crisscross your forearms. And then exhale, let's pull down. Inhale and breathe. And then exhale and release. A couple more times like that. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now just release the hands to the floor. Turn if you need to and have a nice step back to downward facing dog. So let's go ahead and hold downward facing dogs for a few breaths here. And begin to lower your head towards the floor as little as you can, or as much as you can. Get that nice length. Bring your front ribs in a little bit. Good. And from here, everybody, let's go ahead and walk our feet forward. And let's come down to the floor and roll all the way on our back. Good. Lie back and just feel the pressure of the gravity pressing your whole front body towards the earth. Just bring the knees into the chest now. Give yourself a nice hug. And massage the lower back. And then from here, we're going to roll up and come up seated. So from this position, now we're going to cross the legs and we're going to do a rolling practice. And we're going to roll in 9 directions for 9 of the planets. So we'll start out with our feet in Sukhasana, and then you're going to hold your knees. And you're going to try to roll into a circle. So you're going to roll back and turn. And then again, roll back and turn. Roll back and turn. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you don't bump your head on anything. 7, 8. And then come back to where you started for 9. Good. And then now just sit up. Feel that spinal release. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's raise the right arm up. Let's reach the body to the left. Good. And then come up the other side. We're going to go back to the first side and now turn and place the forearms to the floor. And then rise up and turn and place the forearms to the floor. Good. Let's reach up. Reach the arms all the way up. Exhale. Bring the hands to the heart. Good. Go ahead and come onto your hands and knees now. Inhale, stretch the chest forward, and exhale, come into a nice cat position. Good. Now from here, sit onto your heels. And then rise up, come into the tops of the knees. Let's go ahead and stretch the right leg to the right. You can flex your ankle or you can point the toes. Good. Let's reach the arms out like in Trikonasana. And now lean towards your left.
Coming to Padangustasana, gate pose, lengthen. Good, and then inhale, bring your right arm up, and then windmill to the other side. Now this time, bring both hands to the right ankle and squeeze and lengthen over the right leg. Good, and then keep your right hand on your right ankle, and now open your left arm up to the side. Padangustasana. Good, and then inhale, rise up. Good, and exhale, let's release down. Bring your hands to your waist, bring your right knee in, and then switch. Take your left leg out, reach the arms out on the inhale, stabilize the lower body, exhale, let's reach to the right. And then inhale, rise up, and then windmill, the right hand to the right ankle, fold over the left leg. And then inhale, stretch your left arm, your right arm up. Good, and then reach all the way up. Reach the arms up and then exhale. Bring the hands to the heart and slowly bring the left knee into the midline, and then squeeze down and sit into your Vajrasana. Good, have a nice inhale and a soft exhale. Good, crisscross your ankles now and bring your legs all the way through. Sit in your Dandasana position, wrap your shoulders back and down. Nice big breath. Good, let's go ahead and bend the right knee. From here, we're gonna raise the right arm up and we're gonna bring it on the inside of the knee. So for the first variation, you can tweak the hand to the knee and just sweep your left arm back and come into a nice open chested twist. Otherwise, for the next variation, we're gonna reach forward and we're gonna turn the right thumb to the floor. We're gonna hook back and bind. Come up for a second. Look towards your left shoulder like you did in the first position. And then exhale, we're gonna turn and now forward fold over the left leg. Good, and then inhale, let's rise up and slowly release. And if you're in the twist, just come back to center and everybody release the right leg. Come back into your Dandasana. Let's reach the arms up, interlace, turn your palms to the ceiling, and then release the arms down. Let's do the second side. Let's bend the left knee, bring the sole of the heel close in where it's comfortable, just so that you got a nice stacking of the front shin. Good, sweep your right arm back, raise your left arm up, bring the left elbow on the inside of the left knee and come into a twist. Inhale, and if you want to go into another variation, you're going to exhale and slowly begin to reach forward and then reach that left arm back, right arm hooks the fingers, come up and turn, and then exhale. Let's look forward and bring the head, neck, and trunk down. Good, and then inhale, let's rise up. And we're going to release, coming out of Vaśisthasana 1, and release that left leg straight. Good. Reach back now, bend your knees, everybody, and come up into tabletop. Lift the hips, look back. Utanasana. Good, and then exhale, let's go ahead and release the hips down and extend the leg back out. Let's bend the right knee again. Lift up tall.
Good. From here, reach your left arm outside of the right knee and come into another Marichasana again. Turn and lengthen. If you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and extend the left hand outside of the right knee and turn. Good. And then exhale. Let's release. Release the right leg straight. Come up and bend the left knee. Reach the left arm back. Right arm comes up. Inhale, cross and hook. And then again, lengthen and grab the outside of the right knee maybe. Otherwise, you're just going to stay with the bent arm. And again, you can also have the elbow in front of the knee. Awesome. Let's go ahead and release. And then extend the left leg back again. Let's interlace the fingers, reach the arms up. And then exhale, hands behind you. And we're going to come into the tabletop again, but this time without the bent knees. But if you'd like to practice again with the bent knees, you can do that. Otherwise, we're going to keep the legs extended. Come onto the back of the heels and lift the hips up and back. And then exhale, everybody come down and slowly bring the head, neck, and trunk up. Good. From here, you're going to bend your right knee back. And then bring your left foot into Vrkśasana. Okay, so we're going to do a variation of Vrkśasana. If you're comfortable, you can bring the foot above the right side, the heel. Okay, so one variation will be just in Vrkśasana. Other variation would be to lift the heel and place it on top of the opposite left side. Now to do that, you want to level out the knee and the heel, bring the heel towards the navel, and then turn the left knee forward. Okay? If you're comfortable in this position, you can then wrap, bring the left hand back, and hook and hold the big toe. And then if you're practicing in the Vrkśasana, you can also bring the left hand back, and everybody is now going to turn towards the left. If you feel comfortable, you can take your right hand and scoop palm towards the floor under the left knee and turn and lengthen towards the left. Good. And then exhale, let's go ahead and gently release. And whichever variation you were in, let's go ahead and release the legs and stretch them back out into Dandasana. Okay, let's take the second side. The left heel comes back to the outside of the left hip. Left ankle back. Bend the right knee and bring the foot into Vrkśasana. Or if you're going to be practicing into the lotus pose, you can wrap. And then everybody turn to your right. And have a nice long series of breaths here. And let's go ahead and gently release. Go ahead, nice unwinding, straighten out both of the legs. Good, let's reach the arms all the way up, come up into Dandasana, and then exhale. We're gonna come into a nice forward bend, Utanasana. Look up halfway, and then exhale, let's fold down.
Good. Inhale. Let's look up, everybody. Come up halfway. Now, if you can, grab a hold of the big toe with the right hand, the first finger of the right hand. If that's not reachable, then you're going to hold the back of the right knee. Okay? And then lean forward. And then now bend your right knee and start to bring the right knee back. And if you're using your hands, you're just going to hold the knee. Good. Now, everybody, go ahead and hold the foot with both hands if possible. So you're going to go from the holding with the first two fingers of the big toe to just holding the foot. Good. And now go ahead back and open the right hip a few times. Kind of like a bow and arrow, right? So this is the arrow moving back into the bow. Now bring that right heel into the underbelly of the elbow. And then take your right arm underneath your calf and you come into like a forklift. Good. And now swing to and fro this way. Keep both ankles flexed, toes are spreading. Good. Now we're going to release and we're going to place the right ankle just above the right knee. So come into a little L position. Keep the right foot flexed. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, we're going to fold down and come into a half fire log pose. Fold down, and fold down. Good. And then inhale, let's look up, everybody. Stretch and interlace your fingers and rise all the way up. And then release the arms and then gently just release that leg. Let's try the second side. From here, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up again, and exhale, we're going to fold down in that Utanasana. And then inhale, look up halfway, grab a hold of the big toe of the left foot or hold the underbelly of the left knee. Inhale and lift the left leg up and start to bring it back. Good. And pump it back. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You can hold the foot with both hands as you move into a little bit more of a grip. And then from there, now swing. Swing the left hip forward and start to move that left heel towards the right shoulder. Bring the right elbow under the heel. Bring the left arm under the left calf. And now come and swing. Again, keeping the feet flexing with the ankle. There's no sickling. And then now from here, like a little baby, lay the ankle down above the right knee. Reach the legs, reach the arms up, and then exhale. Let's fold down. And then inhale, let's rise up halfway, interlace the fingers, reach the arms up, and then exhale, let's release the arms down. Now, before you let this left leg straighten, we're just gonna bend the right knee. And you're gonna come like in a thread the needle position. But you're going to then rest the right knee down and you're gonna try to stack your shins, your calf muscles. You're going to stack them. So try not to bring one of the feet in. Come down and let the knees stack on top of the ankles, top and bottom. Okay, so from the side, it's like this. And maybe, possibly, that the top knee is really high up, especially if there's
some constriction in the hips, that's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just that you're working with where you're at and you're trying to create a little bit of suppleness there. So I like to rock back and forth a little bit and then come forward to let the hips start to soften. And if you're up here and you can't move, just use the hands to hold the knee and just close your eyes and breathe into the sticky parts. If you feel like a little more comfortable, that you feel like you can go forward, start to forward fold and come into a downward facing variation of the pose. And you may want to come down in stages, and you may also back off and then come down. Just kind of be measured about it and honor your own body, your own state. So let's have one more breath. And then come up. And before you let go of this position, bring the right knee up and start to just turn to the left and then the right. Stretch through the hips. Good. And then let's come to center. And now let's go ahead and switch. So you can stretch both legs out. Remember which leg was on top. And now sweep and take the opposite leg, which for me, it's the left calf. And then stack the right ankle on top of the left knee. And then again, kind of rock back and forth with the breath. Inhale, exhale. And then if you're ready, maybe come down into the forward bending aspect of this particular posture. Again, don't strain your knees. Don't push into the knees. And let's inhale and slowly come up. And then before you let it go ahead and take a little bit of those twists in the hips. Good. And then stabilize everybody. Let's release the legs forward and out. Good. And then lie back. Bring your knees into your chest. Have a block handy to the side and just let it be there for a minute. And now from here, we're going to move up into Viparita Karani or shoulder stand. So line your back, bend your knees. And then from here, just rock your knees from side to side. Good. And then from there, we're going to slowly bring our knees into our chest, palms place the earth. Inhale, rock back. Bring your hands underneath your hips. Roll your shoulders under your back. Bring your hands closer and closer towards your shoulder blades, elbows closer and closer to each other, and then spring your legs up. Good. And just let your blood pressure shift a little bit. It takes a little time for you to adapt. So we're going to play with a few variations in here. Keeping both legs up. Now we're going to split the legs. So keep the left leg up. We're going to lower the right leg down towards the floor behind our head. Good. And then raise the right leg up. And switch. Keep pressurizing the back of the arms down and the elbows down towards the floor. And then lower the left leg down. Good. And bring the left leg back up. Good. Now let's lower both legs again. You can bend the knees too.
come down to Halasana. And then reestablish the foundation of the pose by rolling the shoulders a little bit more into the back, walking your hands down towards the shoulder blades. Good, and now from here, bring your opposite leg up first and come back into shoulder stand. Now from here, turn the soles of the feet, let them touch, and bring the heels down close to your groin, knees apart. Notice the change in the weight. Notice the change in your blood pressure. Good, and then pause here. If you would like to go into another variation, open your legs now into a V position. If you can bring your toes to the floor, try that for Supta Pawanmuktasana. Good, then from here, bend your knees again, come back into the Baddha Konasana, join the rest of our friends, and then shoot the legs back up again. Good, and now bring the feet back overhead. You can bend the knees, relax the hands in against the back. And now bend your knees around your ears. Vrkśasana Pidgeon. Now straighten the knees one more time. Hold your lower back, hold your butt. And let's roll all the way down to the floor. Bring the feet, the soles of the feet down, bend your knees, rest your hands, one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Come into a nice 3-part breath, coming into Viloma. So inhale to your navel, and then inhale to your heart. And inhale all the way to your throat. And exhale. Pressurize your lower back to the floor, and let's inhale to the Manipura chakra at the navel. And pause. And then continue your inhalation to the Anahata at the heart. And then pause. And then continue your inhalation to the Vishuddha chakra at the throat. And then hold nicely. And then let it go. Exhale with a nice long sigh. First cyclic sighing. Try that one more time on your own, coming to the navel, the heart, and the throat. And then softly exhale. Good. Now from here, let's release the hands and lift your hips up. Bring the arms underneath your hips and your back. Palms face down, and now sit. Sit your whole back onto your arms. Stretch your legs out, and then wrap your shoulders under your back, and then slowly bring the crown of the head towards the floor. And open up the throat chakra, open up the Vishuddha chakra, stretch open the thyroid, the parathyroid, the carotid arteries in the neck. And then also you're pressurizing your optic nerve in the back of your neck, toning the optic nerve for all that screen time that you're on. Good, and then go ahead and slide your head back. Free your hands and arms from underneath your trunk and your torso. Bend your knees back again. Place the soles of the feet down and pressurize your lower back. Place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart again. And this time, take your feet as wide as the mat and bring your knees into one another. Let them lean in. Good, so now we'll practice Anuloma Viloma. And we're gonna inhale into the navel. Let's hold now. Inhale to the heart. And hold. And then inhale to the throat. Hold as much as you can in. And now we're going to exhale through the mouth and create the sigh. Good. Now we're going to 3-part breath on the way up and then also 3-part breath on the way down. So inhale into the belly and pause. Inhale to the heart and pause. And now inhale to your throat and pause. And now exhale a little bit, just like a teeny bit, and pause. And then exhale a little bit more, pause, and then exhale all the way out. And now inhale a long yogic breath, filling with no stopping. And now hold at the kumbhaka at the top. And now we'll add in a little bit of the cyclic sighing. So inhale again and hold like you're going to burst. And open your mouth and sigh it out. But now just have a nice normal breath with no stopping, no holding. Exhale. And we're going to do one more of those practices. Inhale to the belly and hold. Inhale to your heart and hold. Inhale all the way to your throat and hold. Good. Now just leak out a little bit of breath for 1 second and hold. And then leak out a little bit more for 2 seconds and then hold. And then let it all the way go. Exhaling all the way out. Good. Now inhale all the way to the throat. No stopping along the way until you get to the throat. And now hold in the kumbhaka. And now sip in a little bit more breath. Hold it. And now open your mouth and let it go through the exhale of the mouth. Good. And now let's release into Shavasana. If you have a blanket handy or a pillow, place that on your belly. Maybe if you have a bolster, place it on your belly, on your lower abdomen, below the navel, right on top of the pelvis. Wrap your shoulders under, extend your legs, extend your arms. Let's come into Shavasana, into the final resting pose, final resting asana of the corpse pose. So here we're going to come to first the state of stillness. The stillness of the body is provided by the practice of asana. The practice of asana brings the restlessness or fatigue out of the physical form, allowing us to feel comfortable in our body in order to rest in stillness. So do what you can, do what you need to arrange yourself in a way that you feel comfortable. Any support under the knees, support under the back. And if you're practicing with the blanket or bolster on your abdomen, that helps provide a grounding, a little bit of a weight in order to bring a sense of stillness into the physical body. And then enjoy this moment of stillness if you're able to practice stillness, because stillness creates the doorway to silence. And in this case, silence is representative of a mind that is not saying negative things to itself. A mind that has sweetness and joy in it and kindness. A mind that is free from comparison, judging. also anger, greed, and jealousy. It's a mind that is free and light. That is what silence represents in our yoga practice. It's not a silence that is filled with boredom. It's not a silence that is lonely. It's silence that is actually full of abundant joy. So in this method, we come to stillness so that our stillness lets us not be distracted, because distraction is a mind that is unhappy. It defines a mind that is restless, that is distracted, and it is not eased. It's a mind that is seeking to fulfill itself and to move itself away from its pain and suffering. So let's move back to the stillness and welcome the silence, and then feel the warmth of this state of silence and stillness. Allow your body to become heavy. Allow your body to become comfortable. Let your eyes rest gently into sockets. Let your skin loosen and feel the entry point of spaciousness. So from the silence, from the stillness and the silence, we begin to move into the third of the three S's, the sense of space. And the sense of spaciousness is the spaces between our breaths, the spaces between our thoughts, moving away from obsession, moving away from overwhelm, from a crumpled, microscopic, myopic point of view to one of complete expansion. One where we don't feel separate, that we actually feel completely included in that vast landscape of a cloudless sky, of a beautiful wind, of free flowing breath. Allow yourself to rest in these three states of stillness, silence, and spaciousness. As a way to give you respite and refuge from the deluge of negative self-speech. Let us rest quietly for 1 minute together in Shavasana. Allow yourself to not resist and give yourself this 1 minute of freedom. And let's begin to deepen our breath again. And then exhale however you see fit. And let's begin to transition out of Shavasana, feeling refreshed from that nice moment of pratyahara, of drawing our senses inward. Good, and then let's go ahead and wiggle the joints, the ankles, the wrists, remove any support you had off of your abdomen. And then bend your knees, maybe reach your arms overhead, extend back. And then exhale, let's bring the hands down and slowly roll to one side, whichever side feels comfortable for you. If you need a little bit more energy right now, roll to your right. If you're practicing the class at night, roll to your left. And then from there, we'll slowly come up. Let's press ourselves up to seated. So let's go ahead and bring our hands to the heart, and we'll close with an Om, a long Om. Let it be like a 10-second Om if you can. Extending your breath, extending the O, extending the sound. So inhale. Oh. Good. Just taking a moment to pause. One more moment before the final end of the practice. We'll inhale. And then exhale. Just bow your forehead down. Place your hands over your heart and give yourself a little bit of a hug. And thank you for concluding the practice with me. And I will definitely see you in the next practice, where we will go into meditation and pranayama practice. Good. And when you're ready, open your eyes and see you in the next practice.